So maybe to start off with, we're back in Netball New Zealand offices. Was it a little bit awkward walking in this morning?
No, it's actually really lovely. It's felt like coming into home and seeing everybody and reacquainting myself with people I haven't seen for a couple of months. So it was beautiful actually, and I was well received.
Because it seems like it was a little bit of a combative process. How do you kind of move past what's happened over the last few months?
Yeah, I think this process, it wasn't nice for everybody. I acknowledge that. But I also believe that it's about doing what's best.
Can you possibly give us a little bit of insight into what has gone on in the background over the past 2 months?
Well, for me, I've been stood down and really I've had the support of the lawyers and they're the ones who do all the negotiation and work through the process. My heart's always been to be reinstated and to come back.
Can you clarify at what point you did engage lawyers?
Once you're been given the letter and notification that you have been stood down, that's when I go straight to legal. There's no other way or approach that I could not go that way.
But weren't your lawyers already involved at that point that you were stood down?
Not Minters and Allison. So Minters and Allison are the people who have been helping me personally through this employment issue.
And what's your understanding of why you were stood down? You mentioned there that you were handed a letter. What did that letter say?
I can't tell you that, Tom. I can't tell you that. That's some of the things that has been agreed on in regards to the negotiations, and I don't want to be fired. So yeah.
But you have a clear understanding of why you were stood down.
The detail of the letter is very clear to me.
I understand that a review was conducted sort of through June and July. Have you seen that review?
I have seen that review, yes I have.
Yeah. And did the author sit down and go through the main points with you?
The author did after the fact. So there's a lot in that process from a Silver Fern management that we looked at. We had the robust conversations around regards to the process. In saying that it never negated, I suppose, the love and care that we have for the athletes and the method for them to be able to voice their concerns.
Going back to that report, I understand it detailed a number of concerns, including that there was a culture of fear in the environment. Is that your read on that report?
No, not in those words. Yeah. No.
What were the findings for you?
Yeah, I can't tell you those findings because those are the things that's in the I suppose the agreement. That those words are not what I understand it to be.
Yeah.
Or not correct in my mind. Those are the specific words.
As in you don't agree with that? Or
no, those words that you've used are not right in my mind of what I've read.
Yeah, okay. And so at that point in time you're presented with these findings and you said earlier that you have a lot of love and care for the athletes. So I guess I'm trying to reconcile how it escalated from a kind of review where some people have raised concerns to this whole process where you were stood down 2 months later.
So in my mind that there's areas of the process that I would question and to some degree challenge, mainly because of everybody not being involved. Is it an environmental issue or is it an individual issue? Because you've got to be able to meet the need. They're totally different. And what I know, it's not an environment issue.
But if you've got a number of athletes that are raising concerns and they don't feel like they can raise them directly with you, isn't that indicative of environmental issues?
What I hear from the person who did the review, it's not an environment issue. So I'm very clear about that. Once again, then what do we need to do in regards to the safeguards of individuals is something that very open to work with and work with them or work with their people as to what that needs to be.
So why couldn't that work take place, I guess, 4 months ago and this would have all sort of been behind closed doors?
Good question.
You've spoken a lot about the process involved. Is this just about process? Was that your key concern?
In this, no. It's about people. I mean, I'm very clear. It's always about hearing these concerns or hearing issues, but ensuring that there's a clear process, that we're very specific about what they are, and that we can actually provide a solution. I'm only one person. So we've got a sports psych. Probably we're the only team, I've got to put my hand on my heart here, to say only female team that has a sports psych that's available or in all of our camps and tours. We also have our medical doctor as well, and then Shaz or Sharon, who's our physio. So they take care of the health and wellbeing piece, and also the player welfare.
You say you're just one person in the environment, but
Yeah.
you are the leader of the environment.
Correct.
So do you take any ownership of these issues that have been raised?
I am the leader, and I have actually been taken. I've been the one that's been stood down. So that's fact. So we've gone through a legal process. My name's been put out there, and without me being able to say anything. So I've taken it all. But the great thing is I've been reinstated. And with the line in the public statement from Netball New Zealand that my integrity is not in question. So that's probably my answer to you.
Throughout this process, there's been, as you mentioned, a lot of public debate around it, but it seemed that overwhelmingly that the public were firmly in your corner. Have you been quite heartened by that?
It's been terrible. It's been a terrible experience. Geez, I don't want to cry. But I never knew actually that people would feel this way, and especially when it first started, or when I was stood down right at the beginning, it felt quite isolated, and to receive that many people who just either rang me up, who just said, hey, I'm here and if you need any support. So very overwhelming, and it just helped me just to keep moving and keep going.
It seemed like you had a lot of people sort of taking up the fight on your behalf in the media. Some of that did get quite frenzied at times, including some of the social media activity. Is that going to be helpful in the end to helping kind of where you need to get to in terms of restoring the trust with the players?
One of the things that I feel so sorry for the players, because they all got put into the same pot. And that's why I'm saying, could this have been managed differently? I mean, I'm on stand down and I can't do anything, so these are the questions that I think we have to ask.
But even there were some singled out on various Facebook pages. I think Marg Foster was posting the photos of the players that she thought were responsible. Like, do you distance yourself from that type of behaviour?
Yeah, I'm not on social media at all. I can't be, it's massive. And for me, honestly, while I was stood down, it was just worrying about what was right in front of me. I didn't even think about what was the next day. Couldn't eat, couldn't sleep a lot of times. Oh God, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry, I can't.
No. Have a breath.
Sorry.
No, have a breath, yeah. Have you thought about, first day of camp, you've got your hands back on the players again, like how you might address what's happened over the past sort of 6 months?
Yeah, that's a hard one, because I won't be going back in or meeting with everybody until July or whenever Com Games is. Or after ANZ, so that's a long time in between drinks. We've also talked about a healing hui, which I feel is fantastic. I feel it's not only for the players, the team, but everybody to some degree has been hurt, or and we need that opportunity to come together so that we can move forward.
Is there some sort of formal restorative process? And that sounds like...
Yeah, I'm hoping that would be it, and hoping that we can organise something like that. That'd be awesome. Yep.
And there's been a number of players that have kind of stepped away from the Silver Ferns environment over the last last 18 months.
Yeah.
And while we can't speculate that they're part of this process, but obviously to have that experience walk out the door,
Yeah.
I can imagine. Are you wanting to re-engage with some of those players?
The idea, once again, when we head into a new international season, going into next year, we have a look to see if people are still wanting to be available or not, and then make contact or communicate with them to see what can you do you want to, or are you in the next phase of life? So usually a lot of times people have their own reasons, their own personal reasons, and I 100% respect whatever that is.
Do you need to be a bit more proactive with some of those players that have left though, and be like, hey, what can we do to make things easier in your life that we can bring you back into the fold?
Yeah, look, people, there's people that have come that are in the Silver Ferns and then they go out, and those people were very active. If people haven't been in the Silver Ferns for 2 or 3 years, or 18 months and are not currently in the Silver Ferns, then we sort of take a step back. But in saying that, we work with the RNZ clubs as to, what do you think? Where are they? Do you feel that they would want to have a talk? So we work closely with the relationships with the people that they have. And definitely if we feel that there's a glimmer and they want to come back, we're in.
High Performance Sport New Zealand have been involved a little bit in this process at
Yes.
various times, and I was kind of wondering about how your relationship with them is as well.
To be honest, we haven't had the discussion, so probably knowing where I am now in regards to my reinstatement, and then we'll probably have the discussion as to what does that mean for me as a board member. Yeah, I'll be looking forward to seeing what that looks like.
And the Ferns are about to jump on a plane tomorrow
Yeah.
off to the UK. How desperately did you want to be with them on that trip?
Yeah, I would have loved to be there. I'm a coach, that's what I do. So my happy place is on the court. My happy place is in the games and team meetings and with the players and the team, and I love that. That's why I'm here.
Have you touched base, or will you touch base with Yvette and Liana to see or let them know there might be players you want to see in different positions or anything to that level of detail?
No, I won't do that. They've got their own rodeo, and at the moment they need to do what's best for them in regards to performance and in regards to putting the team together. So they've got the freedom to do that as best fits for them.
You've talked a lot about how difficult the last few months have been. On reflection, is there anything that you would have handled differently over this period?
One of the things I feel on reflection is, sport is not bigger than law. The law is set up to protect everybody, the athlete, the staff, the coach. And I feel that's been a big learning for me through my experience.
Is there anything, though, having learnt this that you would have done differently in hindsight then?
Things that I learn is about myself, is about my own strength, is about what matters to me, it's about how other people act and other people's leadership styles, and the integrity for me. So it's consolidating who I am and what matters.